Hello, good morning, and welcome to the F50 Capital Summit, Austin 2021. My name is Roger Royce. I'm a partner with the law firm of Haynes & Boone. I'm also the founder of the AgTech Innovation Network, and I'm very happy to be back here again for another year to lead the AgTech track for the F50 Angel Investing Summit. Well, we've got a great panel. This is focused on Texas this year, so we've got a panel of Texas speakers and Texas AgTech innovators to talk to you about some of the exciting things that are going on in Texas. I'd like to introduce our panel. Billy Tiller is the CEO and founder of the Grower Information Services Cooperative. It's a producer-owned data cooperative assisting agricultural producers, one of the few in the country, I believe, maybe one of the first ones. And of course, he has a lot of other roles that it would take the whole panel to read through all the other things he's done in ag tech. So I'll leave it at that. Billy Tiller from Lubbock, Texas, one of the very well-known figures in ag tech. Kimberly Graham is Associate Vice President of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program at Texas Tech University in Lubbock. Kimberly's responsible for developing strategies for economic engagement for the Office of Research and Innovation. She's going to tell us what's been going on in that department at Texas Tech. And we also have one of the innovators from the Innovation Hub at Texas Tech here. It's Cory Roof will be here to give us a presentation on some of the programs that he's been doing. So with that, I think before we get started, I know you've got slides and you've got a lot of information to share. I think I'd like to give you just a couple of minutes, each of you, to introduce yourselves, tell us who you are and how you come to the space. And then Cory, you're one of the innovators.
Yes, sir. I am working through the accelerator program right now at Texas Tech. We are building a program called Ogallala Greens. It's a company focused on providing leafy greens to mid-sized cities in the central United States, primarily here in West Texas. I'll tell you what, it's an amazing program. The access we've gotten has been incredible. Really, really excited to be here today as well.
All right, I'd like to turn it over to our Ogallala Greens company, who is actually currently going through our Texas Tech Accelerator for our cohort 5. Cory Roof is the CEO, and I'm one of his mentors, so I'm proud to be a part of the development of this team. This is a classic example of the kind of competitive startup company that will be going after funding. They're about a couple of months into the program. Cory, I'm going to hand it off to you. Please take it away.
Thanks, Kimberly. Hey, everybody. I'm Cory Roof, owner and operator of Ogallala Greens, the first hydroponic vegetable producer in West Texas. Over the past 5 years, I've helped build and operate some of the most advanced greenhouses in the world. Recently, I won the Rising Star Award at the first annual Controlled Environment Agriculture Awards. Next. This is the Cloud City Farm in Leadville, Colorado. I helped build this greenhouse and plant the first crops for this farm. Leadville is the highest incorporated town in the country at 10,200 feet. It's a very cold place. Next. More importantly, I worked here at Plenty Farms in San Francisco. I worked as a grower in the plant science department and helped build this farm. Next. Called Hybris. This is the most advanced vertical farm ever built. It's totally controlled environment, all hydroponics and LED grown, very cool stuff. I left Plenty last September to come to West Texas and start Ogallala Greens because the opportunity was obvious. Next. Simply put, West Texas does not grow enough of its own food. This region is largely a produce desert, and nearly all of it is imported from the Rio Grande Valley or California. Because of this, the produce is limp, it retains a short shelf life, and it does not contain the nutrition or flavor produce shoppers crave. People in this region across multiple customer segments desire an improvement in quality and availability of locally grown produce. Furthermore, Lubbock is facing a water crisis due to the dwindling resource in the Ogallala aquifer. This is a big challenge for our key local industry, agriculture. Next. Like so many of our other natural wonders, the Ogallala is under threat due to misuse and climate change. In the near future, the loss of this resource will affect our agricultural community as well as West Texas's rapidly growing urban centers. Hydroponic farms like ours use up to 95% less water than traditional farming methods, allowing us to ease the pressure on our precious aquifer while growing incredibly delicious food. Next. Hydroponic farming solves a number of problems for both the produce seller and the produce consumer. Leafy greens and vegetables grown in these controlled environments are more flavorful and nutritious as a result of growing in perfect conditions. They have a longer shelf life because they are harvested locally and do not have to travel thousands of miles in the bed of a truck. This means a smaller carbon footprint and a sizable reduction in the potential for contamination. No pesticides are used during the plant's life cycle, so there's no need to wash the produce. You can eat it right out of the bag. There's no chemical runoff or soil erosion that is common in traditional farming. Considerably less space is used, and water use is a fraction of that of traditional produce. Next. Grocers love it because produce is the number one reason people change where they shop. Year-round reliability is incredibly important to them. Furthermore, there are never delays because of interstate logistics, and our produce is not subject to national outbreak recalls because only one person is handling the produce before you. Next. We are targeting all high-quality food shoppers in the Lubbock area for the short term and all people in the same segment across all urban regions of West Texas, Amarillo, Midland, El Paso, Abilene, etc. This market segment includes trendy eaters, vegans, people on restricted diets, nutritionists, restaurant goers, and the immigrant community, restaurateurs, people who care about their family's health, and people who just love a good salad every now and then. This market is typically determined to be people who shop at Whole Foods or Sprouts, but generally it's about 10% of the population. With 2.8 million people living in West Texas, we see this as being about 300,000 people. Next. And here at Ogallala Greens, we are going to use existing hydroponic technology to provide West Texas and the Great Plains with the freshest possible produce that is bursting with flavor, packed with nutrition, and grown right here in your local county. Next. Now, this is the M-Hydro NFT 15,000. It's basically a grow kit capable of producing about 4,000 edible plants per week, or about 200,000 plants per year. This operation is designed for minimal labor and can be installed for about $220,000. This is a template for the farm that we will be building in Lubbock. Now, there's no need for us to buy this kit right now because I already own a system very similar to this, and it's actually larger than the unit that you're looking at. Next. The global vertical farming market is booming right now, and it's expected to grow by more than about 25% over the next 10 years. Farms large and small are popping up all over the US. Once we saturate our market, we think we'll be making about $10.5 million a year. Next. We will employ about 40 to 60 people, with half or more located here in Lubbock, and these will be reliable local jobs, and will also be attracting talent from across the country. It's already happening. This here is Trey Locke. He's a father, holder of multiple master's degrees, and for the last 8 years, he's been the youngest regional sales manager for Jostens, managing a territory of over $42 million across Texas, Florida, Kansas, and Oklahoma. He's an innovator and a go-getter. He just purchased a house here in Lubbock and will be joining us as our CFO in July. He's made the leap because he believes in the vision of the company, and he sees that West Texas is emerging as an economic powerhouse. This is a big get for Ogallala Greens and a big get for Lubbock. Next. We're excited to work with the accelerator to focus on 3 key goals: business development strategy. How do we determine our MVP or cost per square foot? How do we determine valuation? Things of this nature. Also, technological development, mainly multi-system integration and infrastructure adapted to the high plains climate. And then lastly, we need help navigating the intricate challenges of holding it all together in a newly, largely unregulated industry. Next. Furthermore, we need to make connections in the local community as well as the global investment community. I'll tell you, with our mentor team, we have access to some very serious resources. Right now, we currently have about 300 tomato plants that will begin bringing in profit from the farmers market in June. We are constructing a small hydroponics unit capable of growing about 500 plants per month. This is basically a beta system for us, and later we will be using this space as a lab. We've purchased our first 3,000 square foot greenhouse structure, and additionally, we are doing intensive market research by interviewing consumers and key figures in the local supply chain. Next. Moving forward, this year's key activities will be determining the right product mix for Lubbock by growing several varieties and performing customer discovery interviews. We will build our first greenhouse and first grow system, and we will establish long-term relationships with key industry personnel. Additionally, we will identify and attract a multi-year contract in a grocery store And I tell you what, we've made headway on all of these goals, including that last one. Next. Ultimately, we are undertaking this project to improve the quality of life for people in West Texas. People here deserve access to healthy and high quality food. This business will change the way people eat because it provides daily access to quality produce and does it in a way that eases the stress we place on the planet. It's an opportunity for our agricultural community to take another course in its approach to growing plants and bringing money into the community. And above all, it's an opportunity to invest in something wholesome, with a vision of optimism for our people, our produce, and our aquifer. Thank you very much. Please reach out at ogallala greens@gmail.com if you guys have any questions. Thank you, Ken.